Goldsmith and jewelry shop business owners. I asked Storm, which is Stanford's AI, to analyze sales differences between high marketing and low marketing businesses just using data, case studies, and economic reasoning, right? Now, the reason I am a fan of analyzing how marketing affects sales. So basically, in our case, for goldsmith shops and jewelry business shops, uh, how much jewelry can we sell, right? That's the point of this. Now, I'm a fan of understanding why marketing is so important and how marketing is so important to sell more jewelry, right? The reason I like this sort of stuff is that I had generated over 80,000 plus US dollars running Facebook and Instagram ads for goldsmith and jewelry shops. Now I've just basically run feed and story ads on Facebook and Instagram, and I've generated hundreds of thousands of leads just doing that. And I've done that using a very simple and repeatable, boring, frankly, process of marketing just to get customers for goldsmith and jewelry shops. So that's why I like to talk about this. Now, this article basically has some key takeaways, right? Some bullet points. So one of the things was that high marketing businesses consistently generate higher sales, higher revenue growth, and higher market shares than low marketing businesses. Now, f- this would sound obvious, right? But the small businesses normally, for some reason, tend to market less than bigger businesses, right? Even though bigger businesses need less customers to make more profit, right? They already have brands. On the other hand, smaller businesses, local goldsmith shops, local jewelry shops, even e-commerce small jewelry shops, they have less customers, less brand. They should be marketing more. At least this is what data says, right? Second key takeaway was that marketing investment strongly correlates with one, brand awareness, demand creation, pricing power, which just means you can sell more expensive stuff, yeah, and customer lifetime value or LTV, lifetime value, right? Lifetime value just means uh, how many times does a customer come back again and again, right? How you a complete stranger walks into your shop, buys your thing on the internet. How many times does that customer repeat that same cycle of buying your product, right? That's it. That's what customer lifetime value means, or the amount that they spend throughout their life in your business. Third key takeaway was that low marketing businesses can succeed, but usually only in niches and with slower, more fragile growth. Now, fragile growth just kind of means erratic growth. Sometimes 5 customers in 1 week, sometimes 0 customers in 1 week. So it's kind of fragile, it's it's inconsistent, right? So that's kind of what fragile means, at least in the article, which is pretty long. Now, uh, other key takeaways was that high marketing firms, businesses, right, use multi-channel campaigns, right? Multi-channel just means so channel, TV, newspapers, digital media, organic media, paid media, right? Email marketing, different channels, right? Multi-channels. They use that, right? So, for example, here it says paid media, branding, digital PR, public relations, right? So they stand up on stage and give their speech, right? Um, to scale demand, right? They market in different places, right? To get more customers, right? Uh, Second takeaway here is that low marketing firms rely on referrals, word of mouth, SEO, and grassroots efforts, and basically personal relationships. So, for example, friends and family, right? Word of mouth is I had a customer, they sent another customer, and that's their acquisition method, customer acquisition method. SEO, well, you understand SEO, search engine optimization. You have a website, you do a bunch of SEO to rank higher in Google. That's it, right? And then third is that budget size matters, but execution, targeting, and consistency matters more than how much you spend. Now, what does spending mean when it comes to marketing? It means either a team to put out more organic content, agencies to, for example, in this case, SEO, right? Engine optimization. There are agencies that just help you to rank higher in Google, right? So you pay them so that you are more visible in Google. And then in our case, it's ad spend. So how much money do you spend on advertising, right? Now, that can be advertising on Google. That could be advertising on TikTok. That could be advertising on Meta. We always advertise on Meta to get customers for goldsmith shops and jewelry shops. Meta is the king still, right? So Facebook and Instagram. Right? Now, one of the things here is that, so we got this little graph here, which is super simple to understand, but I'll just draw it out for you because, drawing is fun. So high marketing, low marketing, amount of sales. So this is like, to put it in your head, this is the amount of money you earn from your goldsmith shop selling jewelry. This is the amount of marketing that you do to attract people to your goldsmith shop so that people walk into your jewelry shop, right? So what we want to be is this guy, right? This is what we want to be. So there's a direct correlation with the amount of marketing that you do, the amount of stuff that you put out, basically either content, either emails, offers, paid advertisement, right? With the amount of money that you make. So the amount of sales that you make, the amount of jewelry that you sell to people, right? So one of the things that this graph kind of shows you is that you can see this face to face in jewelry shops. So let me just explain what I'm saying. So for example, huge business, right? Huge business. This business is a Swiss conglomerate, by the way, right? This business does not need it to advertise to get a bunch of customers. They already have a huge brand, a lot of past customers that come again and again, regardless of whatever marketing they are putting out, and word of mouth. So they don't need to advertise to get customers. Obviously, they want more customers, you advertise, but they don't need it. They already have brand, right? But even this business that does not need customers has 880 meta ads active. These are just the active ones, right? And you can just scroll down and see all of the ads, right? All of the ads until the last one, right? These are, oh, let's keep going that way. Keep going down. Right. Like they are, it's 880 ads. Now, obviously, this is a conglomerate. So there are uh, several different subsidiaries in several different countries that are running these ads, but they are running it under the business. Right. So they don't need to pay advertising, have paid advertising to get customers, and yet 880 ads. Right. Now, on the other hand, a local goldsmith shop like George Gould AB in Kalmar, it's a small southern city in Sweden, zero ads, zero. So that kind of gives you an understanding of uh, why marketing matters so much when it comes to sales. Like the more you market, the more you sell jewelry. And this is what we have found when we run ads for goldsmith shops is that if you just if you just do this, right? If you just grab your best performing organic content, which you have to put out a lot, right? And then you cut up the front end, put a hook, either a visual hook or a verbal hook, normally a visual hook, by the way, right? Then you put a super simple CTA, and then you just grab that, spend a bunch of money, and then grab the best performing of all those ads, grab the best one, turn off the losers, duplicate the winners. Now, duplicate the winners doesn't mean just click and duplicate. It means creating very similar variations of that winning ad, right? That's all it means. Just every Sunday, 4 hours a day. And we have seen you get a bunch of leads, right? Leads are people who saw your ads and said, I want this jewelry. I want this ring. I want this necklace. I want these earrings. I want the bangles, right? I want them. I'm interested. Clicks on the ad, gives you their phone number, their email address, their last name, and their the first name so that you, the jewelry business owner, the goldsmith shop owner, can call them and actually sell them the jewelry. That's what marketing is, right? And we have seen if you just repeat that one simple process with time, you get a very consistent flow of those leads, which is the most important part, right? People walking into your shop. That's the most important. So I hope this was valuable. If this was valuable enough and you want to learn actually how to click by click advertise your goldsmith shop, your jewelry shop, whatever, you can click the link in the description of this video and click by click learn it inside